did the media really expose this?
No, of course not.
Gangbangers, hustlers and 1,000 busters, overactive, SMEs, target practice. Youngsters doing life for murdering our rivals. God bless the thugs buried under sad hole. Never forgotten, we mobbing in the afterlife. They like my style, they want to see my guns and knives. Fuck the non-aggression.
To begin with, all this started with an indictment.
As far as the green light in 2007, another situation that happened with the big homies, where my neighborhood had got green lighted, you know, and behind beefing with the homies.
Yeah, Alan Ruby mentioned my name. They met when they're talking about that whole issue. He was mentioned by name. You know what I mean? Senator Ramirez was mentioned by name, and I mean the whole incident, like what happened, like you know how freaking Gabriel Franco went over and shot up his mom's house. All that was put in there. All that's in trial. All that's in trial.
From your opinion, and from you being through his trial, what kind of relationship does the mob have with the NF?
It's not a very good relationship. You know what I mean? It's not like the NF is fond of the mob. You know what I mean? If you used to run in these circles, or occasionally maybe bump into people that run in these circles, you know that the mob, the NF doesn't like the mob. Number one, the NF doesn't like the mob. They consider the mob as being like a rebellious bunch, ones that don't want to follow NF rules. I mean, this is what NF considers the mob as, and a lot of times you hear a lot of stories about people from the mob being whacked off of the main line, right, off of GP, off of General Pop, and to be sent somewhere else because people from NF don't want them. I mean, these are the stories you hear. You know? So, I mean, that's the kind of relationship it is.
They subpoenaed me to go behind my first album because the engineer of Beatdown Records, you know, he got caught up and got 106 years for, you know, behind kicking it with the neighborhood, and this guy is basically, you know, just a producer.
People that testified in court saying that I was a gang leader and that I was this and that I was that. And that's how my ties me tying to this because of a CD.
That's why they subpoenaed him. Alan Ruby also mentioned as gang leader. Let's talk about Alan Ruby just a little bit. Who's Alan Ruby? Well, Alan Ruby is this gang member. He was known for being around gangs. He's a self-proclaimed. How did he describe himself? He's a self-proclaimed hunter. That's the exact words he described to describe himself on the stand. He's a hunter. That's who he is. And this dude, he's a manipulator, he's a hunter, he's a serial killer. People want power. People want money. The ones that came up, the only ones that came up, not even John Mendoza came up on trial. Not even him. Because for some reason the indictment never really came up. I mean it did, but it didn't, you know what I mean? So I think maybe his name came up once, but the one that came up the most was Samuel Ramirez. Because of the green light. Because supposedly he's the guy that put the green light out on the neighborhood, and because of what Gabriel Franco did to his mother's house, right? So,
and that was the incident that supposedly happened that some dudes from that house pulled out guns on some people from the neighborhood and some people went back to that house and shot the house up.
I don't remember. They did it. They did. Now all this, of course, is according to Alan Ruby, right? So I don't remember the whole story of how Alan Ruby told it. That's the only piece I can remember is that he put Gabriel as an aggressor against Samuel Ramirez at his mom's house, and he blew a freaking hole into the side of his mom's house. You know what I mean? I guess with dynamite or something like that, right? And then so this dude, which don't make no sense at all. I mean, somebody blows a hole into my freaking house, bro, I'm out to kill. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? If I'm this big bad freaking NF gang member who's freaking calling shots, you blow a freaking hole into the side of my mom's house, I'm gonna kill you. I'm not gonna say, hey, yeah, you know what? You're gonna pay. You gotta kill X amount of freaking sureños. We got a green light on your neighborhood. I'm not doing that. I don't care about the rest of your neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's none of it. That don't make that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but you know already though. When it's like you hiding behind the cause though. That's what it really comes down to. You're using the cause as your, you know what I mean, instead of just being a man like you're saying, and you just go deal with the motherfucker and get rid of them. But instead, they utilize their position or whatnot and use the manpower to go do your fucking do your shit.
Utilize that manpower, right?
You know what I mean? Because you can't go do it yourself.
Yeah.
You know that dude Sammy. You know, I know who he is. You know what I mean? Personally, I mean to me he was a nobody. You know what I mean? But I was in jail. Like I never even realized that this person was out here. By the time I knew it, there was already a green light on the hood.
Right.
Like I said, I'm over there in prison tripping off of, there's 6-7 of us on the yard, so we have to be tripping on if they try to hit us inside.
Right,
you know what I mean? You know, that type of shit.
I don't understand.
Do you know how many murders were committed altogether? Did they ever mention that?
Altogether, behind the green light?
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't mention that. They didn't mention that. I just know the ones that Alan Ruby allegedly admits.
Was it double figures? Wow.
Yeah, it was double figures. Yeah. So I just know the ones that Alan Ruby allegedly participated in. Allegedly, according to him.
And that was the 4 murders and...
That was 4 murders and 16 attempted murders.
4 murders and 16 attempted murders. Rudy Cuevas, who's that?
Rudy Cuevas is, I really don't know. I mean,
What happened with him? Why is he involved in this?
so supposedly, according to Alan Ruby, this guy chased him and threatened him to kill him or whatever with a knife and all that, right? Well, that was all brought up. Actually, it was brought up throughout the trial because supposedly this happened in between trials.
So he chased and threatened a state witness?
Supposedly, right? According to Alan Ruby.
Okay.
Alan Ruby talks about the green light. Alan Ruby says that the whole green light was all based on Gabriel Franco's aggression towards some carnal, right? So
Carnal meaning?
meaning somebody in the NF, right? So supposedly because Gabriel Franco went and committed some form of act of aggression towards him, there was green light on him. I'm not gonna say what it was, but because I think it just suffices to say that, right? So supposedly there's a green light on the whole mob because of this. So now, in order to clear his name and the rest of the West Side Mob's name, these two are supposed to go out and, well, I guess the whole West Side Mob, but these two took it upon themselves to go out and commit multiple gang murders, right? 2 of them being the cases that were brought up, or 2 of them being the charges that were brought up in this case, which is the Doburn murder and the McCreary Street attempted murder. Right? So, the funny thing is, in that trial, the one thing that was different from the first one, well, 2 things that were different from the first one, was the Cadillac double murder that wasn't brought up in the first trial, and the Rudy Cuevas case. You had an informant who rattled off a bunch of names. Who knows if he was telling the truth or not, right? He just rattled off a bunch of names, and next thing you know, 3 years after these names were rattled off, people were picked up.
But from what I remember, the individual he had a problem with is the one who was calling shots out here and basically put the green light on the hood.
Right.
Right? They put a green light on the hood, and in order for the homies from the hood to clear this up, they had to whack out so many, a certain amount of Sureños,
right,
in order to clear the green light. Committed these cleared their name with the green light murders, whacked out so many Sureños and whatnot. These same dudes told on the dudes.
This same guy. I don't know who else.
They called it, when I went to court, they said it was a West Side Mob murder spree. That's what they called it in court when I went. Because I was there for. I got in there at 9:30 in the morning, and I was on the stand till 4:30. And that's what the DA called it.
What was it called?
West Side Mob Murder Spree.
And when did it get changed to green lights?
No. I'm saying
That was the green light.
It was called the Green Light Murders, but I'm saying that's what he said in the court when he was saying. So you don't know nothing about this West Side Mob Murder Spree? Like, I was in prison.
Those are the words he used, right?
I was in prison. How am I supposed to know about anything that's going on out here? Well, aren't you? They said this guy said you're the leader. It didn't make no sense to me. Is how the fuck does a prison gang green light a neighborhood, say you can go kill a bunch of people, and then tell on you after? You know what I mean? Like, and then still hold merit people to know that that fucking piece of shit, Ramirez, was the fucking main rat in this whole shit. And then he started to kick off this whole shit. It's all behind him, trying to put some stupid green light shit or some bullshit gang shit. These dudes, money, were fucking pulling up on cats in cars and just blasting the 2 people, 3 people in the car, shooting everybody in the car. 1 dies, 2 lives.
Waking big hella early, riding dirty, baby. Got the skeezy, got the banger, got a model later. It's lined up like some motherfucking cocaine. My whole city banged out, I ain't the one to blame. I got that Mary Jane, I got that Mary Jane. Fuck the system trying to do me like I'm Hurricane. Fuck with me and leave your mama in some major pain. Your hood ain't nothing but a motherfucking shooting range. You ain't nothing, you's a sucker in this building hate. I smoke the best and you ain't around me cause you fucking fake. A 2-faced backstabbing ass fucking snake. I smoke the shake, shady motherfuckers from the gate. Stop the hate, spread your bitches' legs and eat some cake. And shove that bread up your ass while I'm eating steak. Let's get it straight, motherfuckers, this is what I do. Gelato 25, this hoe is 22.
Round here we keep it lit, fired up. We be smoking on the loud, fired up. Especially when I'm in the studio, I'm fired up. If they wanna see me later, yeah, I'm fired up. Light it up, homie, light it up, homie. We be smoking on the loud, fired up. Especially when I'm in the studio, I'm fired up. If they wanna see me later, yeah, I'm fired up. What? Shake it down low. Won't you shake it down low? Won't you shake it for me down?